One of the things I've noticed here in the Twin Cities over the last, really the last week or so, is that wherever you live, if you live in Minneapolis, if you live in the suburbs, you are starting to feel the effects of this. Whether you're seeing ICE agents in your neighborhood, Dan saw ICE agents. You saw ICE agents today, right?
They were in the parking lot of my apartment complex, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have noticed that just about every restaurant in the Twin Cities, including in Maple Grove, one of our favorite restaurants, family-owned restaurant, El Rodeo Mexican restaurant, their employees don't want to show up. And I don't know the details, right? Are some of them undocumented? I don't know. Are most of them citizens? Probably. Are all of them citizens? Maybe. I don't know. But all of them are scared to show up because they're afraid there's going to be a raid. They're going to be, thrown into custody. And so there is an economic sort of conversation to be had and a conversation to be had about the role of business. So we brought Adam Duininck in, who is the president and CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council, because these are the conversations you guys are having every day, right, Adam?
Yeah, every day. Thanks for having me, Jason. I've been talking to board members, to other association leaders, to CEOs. I was with a bunch of CEOs most of the afternoon today, asking them how this is playing out. What are they doing in response? What are they hearing from their employees, from their customers, from shareholders? It runs the spectrum. And you think about how many different industries it impacts. It's everything from manufacturing, retail. We hear a lot about hospitality and restaurants for certain, but it's impacting a lot of industries already. And I think there's a significant concern about the longer term impacts to our city.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been thinking about is just the fact that, like, if you had a convention scheduled for Minneapolis in the next month, do you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a specific example. We worked with the YMCA, who does a big youth and government program downtown. It's 1,600 students. So a lot of students, parents, school districts were concerned what's going to happen. This happened this past weekend. We tried to make sure they had additional safety resources, more ambassadors on the street, providing the things that they need to do, that they need to feel comfortable. Thankfully, it went on as planned. There's been, the more high-profile cancellation was John Mulaney at the Armory,
right?
Unfortunately, but generally, some of the bigger events went on as planned, which is a good thing. Generally, people are in the office. We're seeing a little bit of a dip in appearances in the office, and we're seeing Skyways and some of the restaurants not be open. It's sporadic. It's anecdotal at this point.
Yeah, the hospitality industry, which of course I know well from covering it, and it's a fair amount of your membership, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that the backbone of hospitality, whether it's hotels, whether it's restaurants, event centers, it's immigrants. And so if the immigrant community is worried, then that's a real issue for these business owners who maybe it's also difficult to wade into politics right now. So I'll tell you, just trying to get restaurant owners to come on and talk about the impact.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to talk about it.
I was just with one before coming over here, and his point was a lot of restaurants are shortening their hours. We're trying to keep our hours intact if we can staff them. But he said to me, Adam, I'll be honest, every day when our restaurant opens at 11 o'clock, I don't know who's all going to be there. So that kind of uncertainty, that's going to hurt commerce. It's going to hurt our economy. It's going to drive down tax revenue and the other sorts of things that our city, region, state rely on in a meaningful way. And we're just at the front end of this, but a number of groups are trying to look at what those impacts are, try to measure them, try to be thoughtful about them. I've been in touch with the Lake Street Council as well. They've been seeing even more devastating impacts early on.
I know, 80% or so of the businesses along Lake Street have been closed.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that yesterday. I was driving on the west side of St. Paul, just trying to support some kind of immigrant-owned, American-owned, but immigrant-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are closed.
They are. And, I think if you could take an action step today, go buy a gift card or go get takeout at some of the places that maybe aren't serving food in the restaurants. These restaurants are hurting, and any way you could support them would be greatly appreciated.
Adam Duininck is with us, the president and CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council. Part of what you guys do is advocate, speak for businesses.
Mm-hmm.
In this time, especially over the last couple of days, as the political reality, and you've been around politics for a long time too. The political reality is we wage our wars very publicly. And so it's this battle on social media. It's not even a battle. We were just talking, the governor does a news conference or gives a speech, and then Homeland Security is like, boom, like screw you in the social media response. That is not how business gets done. That's not how deals get done. Is there a behind-the-scenes role for business where leaders can make this economic case that you're making?
I think and hope so, and that's something that I've been working on. I know other association leaders and CEOs, business leaders themselves have been working on as well. It's something that I try to convey to my own staff team. Many of them are looking to me, what are we doing as an organization? And it's not a very easy predicament for a business owner or CEO to be in. There's been a lot written in the last day or two about what are CEOs doing in the past. They've been either a trusted voice or brought a leadership perspective to some of these bigger societal questions. And in this day and age, with the social media, with the outrage culture that exists out there, there's only downside and almost no upside to take some of these messages public. So what some of us have been trying to do is how do we get to points of leverage, or at least access points into the discussion about here's what this means. Here's what this is going to mean for our economy in 3 months or 6 months if we don't figure this out, resolve it, have ICE leave our communities. They're doing nothing but creating chaos and harm, and that's not a good thing. But in terms of trying to weigh into that space, it's just a really complicated web of challenges.
Adam Duininck is with us. It's sort of sad, and it's sort of understandable cowardice. Because ultimately the right thing to do is the right thing to do. And when your job is to protect the shareholders' interest or all of your other employees who are coming to work and their income, I understand why, being public is not appealing.
The other thing I'd say is there's...
believe me, I know it.
We're a country
how do you think it's going for me these days, Adam?
No question. Well, we are a country of laws. We believe in the rule of law.
Absolutely.
And trying to figure out what that means for companies also isn't just around this issue. There are tariffs. There's a budget that the federal government passes. There are decisions that the state and local city of Minneapolis and other localities decide all the time that have an impact on businesses as well. How do we have a conversation about all those things at once while this chaos is being generated out of this issue around immigration?
Yeah.
I mean, the real solution here is immigration reform, but how long have we had that conversation?
Since Reagan.
Decades, yes, exactly.
I mean, part of the George W. Bush appeal as a Republican compassionate conservative at the time, part of why I was so drawn to George W. Bush is like, this idea of smaller government, lower taxes, and having a heart and figuring out a way forward on immigration. And we've seen administration after administration, legislators do nothing. And so here we are. I suppose there's a lesson here about the fact that when Congress is afraid to do anything, that you do leave an opening for when an administration decides we are going to enforce this law and we're going to do it however the hell we want. I mean, this was foreseeable, I think, when you decide not to take action. But that's the broader issue. We have an immediate issue of saying, look, I understand that when you say get ICE out of here, people have a visceral reaction.
Right.
How dare you say people who are doing legitimate law enforcement should leave?
Yeah, that's the problem with the debate that half of the society, our culture and society, believes one thing, and the other half believes another. That some sort of job has to be completed for them to leave the community, or some think, why are they here in the first place? This doesn't align with our values. And as somebody who runs an association that's about downtown is supposed to be about for everybody, whether you work here, live here, or just working through some of your challenges on your own day-to-day. Downtown is supposed to be a place where safety is about being safe and feeling like you belong and you're welcome here as well. And so it presents a huge number of challenges for me, for our association, for our members.
Yeah, it is tough, but I do think you can hold the fact that getting people who are dangerous and are criminals and are here illegally out of here is not controversial. That is not controversial, despite what maybe some people want you to think. Most Americans think that's right. And also, it's not controversial to say we shouldn't have masked agents from the federal government coming up to every brown-skinned person at a gas station trying to see their papers. Like, what is that? Like, I don't know. To me, this being common sense on this is not that difficult.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's a pragmatic view is a view the business community holds on to most everything they do. It's how do we figure out a solution to the problem? If there's an avenue for myself to play a role or other CEOs to play a role, we're going to be jumping into those discussions. They might be private, but rest assured that companies are paying close attention to how it impacts their employees and how it impacts the city.
Yeah. Yeah, it is striking that we haven't had as many public statements as you would. I'm sure there are many employees who are used to that, who want their bosses to speak out or their companies to speak out. And it's a scary place to be in a touchy economy right now and all the other factors, like you said.
Absolutely.
Adam Duininck, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Adam Duininck from the Minneapolis Downtown Council. Go to a restaurant. Go to a play. Go to a Timberwolves game. Go check it out. 5:49, back to wrap up the show in just a minute on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl. He is a Minnesotan. A lot of people don't know that for some reason. You see him on the billboards everywhere, and you're like, is he one of us? Chris is one of us. And I got to tell you, the Big Red Shack bit that Chris has been doing has been so fun. So we talk about the benefits of the guaranteed cash offer, and those benefits are pretty clear. Like no headaches, no hassles. You can close in as short as 2 days. But part of what I love about Chris Lindahl and the guaranteed cash offer is the emotional side of it. That there are people who inherit a house or need money fast or have a job change or have a life change, and they need to sell their house and they can't mess around with it. And when Chris brings that big red check, it is a life-changing moment. So spread those arms out as wide as the billboard. Do the Lindahl and see if the guaranteed cash offer makes sense for you. Now is a great time to go to chrislindahl.com. chrislindahl.com. Find out if the guaranteed cash offer is right for you, and then send me a picture of when you get that big red check.